You ever just look at someone causing so much pain, and you just think, how can they not see what they're doing? Well, today we're going to dig into a really fascinating, ancient answer to that question, and it suggests their blindness might not be an accident at all.
I mean, really, why is it that some people can act with such arrogance or even cruelty and still be completely convinced that they're the wise one, that they're justified, maybe even righteous? It's a super frustrating and deeply human mystery, right? Now, your first instinct might be to think, okay, the answer must be about some kind of punishment or cosmic payback. But the perspective we're exploring today, it's something else entirely. It's not about an immediate penalty. Instead, this blindness is actually framed as a strange, almost paradoxical kind of protection. Yeah, I know. Protection? For whom and from what? That's the real question we need to unpack.
So, this strange protection, it has a name. It's known as the veil of divine illusion, or Māyā. Let's get into how it actually works as this powerful karmic tool.
So what exactly is this divine illusion? Well, in this context, Māyā is a protective veil. And get this, it's not just there to trick people. Its real purpose is to hide a certain truth from those whose egos are, let's say, too impure or fragile to handle it. The idea is that if they actually saw their own reflection, they wouldn't grow. They just shatter with rage.
And look, this isn't some new age idea. It's anchored in really ancient texts, like the Bhagavad Gita, which says, I place them under illusion, veiled by my yoga Māyā. The deluded do not know me. The key point here is that this delusion is an active part of the cosmic system, not just some random human flaw.
But this can feel a little abstract. So to make it really concrete, the source material gives us this powerful metaphor, the ego's blind gallop. Just listen to this imagery for a second. Those who mock the sacred often ride the horse of ego, fast, proud, and blind. But they do not see the noose of karma tightening with every gallop. Wow. It's such a vivid picture of someone being so sure of themselves as they race toward their own destruction.
So what does it feel like to be that rider? Well, from their perspective, they're winning. They're racing ahead of everybody. They're getting followers, they're chasing power, and they are just completely drunk on the speed of their own arrogance. And the whole time, they are totally unaware that the path they're on doesn't lead to victory. It leads straight into a karmic snare. And this isn't just theory. You can see this dynamic playing out in some of the world's oldest stories. So let's look at 4 classic portraits of this kind of blindness from the ancient epic, the Mahabharata. Our first and maybe the most classic example is Duryodhana. This is a character who you can really only describe as the prince of ego. I mean, Duryodhana's illusion was absolute. He genuinely believed he was the rightful king, even though his actions were totally against dharma, or moral law. He saw a peace offer from the divine Krishna himself and thought it was a sign of weakness. He felt his public humiliation of the queen, Draupadi, was completely justified. And this just perfectly illustrates the concept. Even as his entire army was collapsing around him, he was still certain he was going to win. The truth was staring him in the face, but his ego just refused to see it. Next up, we have a much more complex and, honestly, a tragic figure, Karna. He was a noble warrior, for sure, but he was bound by a misplaced, blinding loyalty. Karna's case is so fascinating because his delusion didn't come from ignorance. He knew the war was unjust. He knew his friend Duryodhana was wrong, but he chose his bond, his pride, and his loyalty over clear moral principle. His story really shows how illusion can trap even good people, just through their attachments. And finally, delusion isn't just for the main bad guys. It also infects the enablers, the people whose actions just fuel the whole catastrophe, like King Dhritarashtra and the manipulative Shakuni. So when you lay it all out like this, you really see the pattern. Each character's path to ruin was unique. For Duryodhana, it was entitlement. For Karna, it was pride and loyalty. For King Dhritarashtra, his deep attachment to his son. And for Shakuni, it was this belief that his clever schemes could somehow outsmart cosmic law. You see? 4 different flaws, but they all lead to the exact same outcome, a devastating inability to see the truth. Okay, so if this illusion is so powerful, how does it ever end? Well, this is where things get really interesting, because the illusion itself starts to serve justice. Let's look at how that veil is finally torn away.
So the big question is, what causes this carefully maintained illusion to finally come crashing down? What's the trigger? According to the source, it isn't random. There seem to be 3 karmic triggers. First, their cruelty just becomes excessive. It starts to unravel the very moral fabric of their world. Second, the person they harmed aligns themselves with truth and lets go of personal revenge. And third, a kind of cosmic tipping point is reached, where the damage they're causing just becomes unsustainable. And at that moment, the veil breaks.
And this offers such a powerful perspective, especially if you've ever felt that justice is just taking way too long. The key idea here is truth delayed is not truth denied. That person's delusion is actually an essential part of their own downfall. They literally have to build their own trap before they can fall into it. So what does this all mean for you if you find yourself on the receiving end of someone's delusion? You're standing in truth while they're living in a complete fiction.
This is where this ancient wisdom becomes incredibly practical. Your very presence becomes a force. Your quiet commitment to what's real, it irritates their illusion. Your silence reflects their own inner chaos back at them. And your inner strength slowly but surely undoes the control they thought they had. The message is to let karma work on its own schedule, because when it finally moves, there is no escape. We're going to leave you with this one final, pretty chilling thought from the source material. Those who mock the sacred will one day cry out for it and hear nothing. It's just a powerful reminder that while the illusion might feel permanent to the person inside of it, from a cosmic perspective, it definitely has an expiration date.